server in JMeter. Now we are focusing on server, network computer program or device that processes requests from a client server, from client. You can refer client server architecture also. In the World Wide Web, for example, a web server is a computer that uses the HTTP protocol to send web pages to a client's computer when the client requests them. On a local area network, a print server manages one or more printers and prints files sent to it by client computers. Network servers, which manage network traffic, and file servers, which store and retrieve files for clients, are two more examples of servers. Here you can see categories of systems. Controller node, the system running JMeter GUI, which controls the test. The worker node, the system running JMeter server, which takes commands from GUI and send requests to the target systems. Target, the web server we plan to stress test. Here you can see the controller node. Controller node is connected to worker nodes, and worker nodes are connected to target. Here you can see a topology in remote test or distributed test. Client or master, the system running JMeter, which controls the slave remote and doesn't send any request. Slave server, slave remote node, the system running JMeter in server mode. JMeter-server, which takes the command from the client and send the test plan request to the target system. Target, the server to stress test. Listeners in the test plan send their results back to the client JMeter, which writes the result to the specified files. Samples are not sent back synchronously by default as they are generated. Since JMeter 2.9, default mode is mod strip batch, which returns samples in batch mode every 100 samples, so every minute by default. This is to improve the maximum throughput of the server test, as otherwise sample result has to be sent back before the thread can continue. The mod strip batch strip responds data from sample result, and if you need it changed to another mode. JMeter RMI requires a connection from the client to server. The default port is 1099, and reverse connection in order to return results to the server to the client. This will use high numbered port controlled by the JMeter property client.rmi.local port. Here you can see master node interacts with slave nodes, and slave nodes are connected to target. Here the master node is connected to slave nodes via start test, and slave nodes are connected to master node via test results here, and test plan slave nodes are connected to target via test plan requests. As an example, we can consider here JDBC configuration, and you can see here the database URL, JDBC colon MySQL colon / this one. This is the IP address of the server. This is the server name here, and the 3306 and / cloud. This is CS node here. By selecting JDBC users element, click your right mouse button to get the add menu, and then select add, then config element, then JDBC connection configuration, then select this new element to view its the control panel here. Here variable name, here my database bound to pool. This needs to uniquely identify the configuration. It is used by JDBC sampler to identify the configuration to be used. Here you can see a database URL, JDBC colon MySQL colon / here. This can be IP address, IP of the server, and then here colon 3306 follows as cloud, and JDBC driver class com.mysql.jdbc.driver, username and password. The username of the database, and password here, password for the username. JMeter creates a database connection pool with the configuration settings as specified in the control panel. The pool is refers to in the JDBC request in the variable name field. Several different JDBC configuration elements can be used, but they must have unique names. Every JDBC request must refer to a JDBC configuration pool. More than one JDBC request can refer to the same pool. Now we are here. You can see the public static final string server in class FTP sampler in package awk.apache.jmeter.protocol.ftp.sampler. In this example, we are considering public static final string server in class smtp sampler in package awk.apache.jmeter.protocol.smtp sampler. Now we are considering public static final string server in class TCP sampler in package awk.apache.jmeter.protocol.tcp.sampler. Now we are here. You can see now we are considering server mode in running JMeter in getting started. Here you can see the example. For distributed testing, run JMeter in server mode on the remote nodes, and then control the servers from GUI. You also use the CLI mode to run remote test. To start the server, run JMeter -server .batch on each server host. The script also let you specify the optional firewall or proxy server information, say H proxy server host name or IP address, -p proxy server port. Here you can see the example. And if you want the server to exit after a single test has been run, then define the JMeter property server dot exit after test equal true. To run the test from the client CLI mode, use the following command, where -G is used to define JMeter properties to be set in the servers. -X means exit the servers at the end of the test. -R, capital R, server 1, server 2 can be used instead of R to provide the list of servers to start. Overwrite remote underscore hosts, but does not define the property. If property JMeter engine dot remote dot system dot exit is set to true, default is false, then JMeter will invoke system dot exit 0 after stopping RMI at the end of the test. Normally this is not necessary. Now we are considering Tomcat in monitoring server applications in monitoring. Now we are considering monitoring server applications in monitoring servers. This is under Tomcat here. The lambda prawn, this is the web address, and JMeter add-on sampler for rstatd. This is the web address, and visualization for the result of rStat sampler. SWI rStat sampler. Here the web address. As an exception example, we can consider this exception occurred in the environment J2SDK 1.3.1.03 and Solaris 8. Java.rmi.server exception, remote exception occurred in server thread. Nested exception is java.rmi.unmarshal exception. Error, unmarshalling arguments. Nested exception is java.lang.class not found exception. org.apache.jmeter.engine.remote JMeter engine implementation underscore stub java.rmi. Unmarshal exception, error unmarshalling argument. Nested exception is java.lang.class class not found exception. org.apache.jmeter.engine.remote JMeter engine impl stub and java.lang.class not found exception. org.apache.jmeter engine.remote JMeter engine impl stub at and etc. As an error example, we can consider this error occurred when JMeter is running with non-GUI mode with JMeter, then -n, then -t, script.jmx -r, slave machine IP -l log.jtl. Error in rconfigure method, java.rmi.server exception. Remote exception occurred in server thread. Nested exception is java.rmi.unmarshal exception. Error unmarshalling argument. Nested exception is java.lang.class.found exception. kg.apc.jmeter.threads.ultimate thread group. No security manager. RMI class loader.